So what would happen in ancient times is the children were asked to take the cows to go graze the land. This is like, because in India, it's wealth is about having how many cows you have, because you can milk the cow, make money, and that. So like the amount of cow you raise and how you herd them and bring them back gives you the skills of discipline too. So the children essentially learned from the land originally. And then once you get to a level, if you're like, very particular, you can also go to the scholarly school where they take them to the forest. So the kings will send their children to the forest with the hermits. So when they reach like 7 years, let's say, that's when the split happens. Like, then the kings will give them to the saints, and the saints will bring them to the forest, and they are raised with the principle, cosmic law, what is right, what's wrong. And they will learn the universal truth, because all the animals live with cosmic law, right? Like animals, like, they have their own rules. So they'll know how to honor the land. And then when they turn 21, they will be brought back to the kingdom to rule. So essentially, the hermits raise the kings of the future. And the people who are in family tradition, they'll send their kids with the cows and stuff. And so they will live in community, like kids together, like a daycare. And they'll go live in grazing land. Like, it's like almost like meadows. So king will go to the forest, and kids, like, if they are in the family way, they'll go to the grazing lands. So when they go to the grazing land, they call it MahaVan. Maha means ultimate. Van means forest, ultimate forest. So I have no idea why it is called, but they also had another name for it called Gokul, which is play place. So the parents kind of thought of it as a play place. Let them go hang out, and let them get away from us so we can do our work. So the avatar Krishna, he had like this ultimate power. He was like the Pied Piper. He will take care of all the kids, and he'll get into trouble together, and he'll like, teach them how to play flutes, and just by playing flute, all the cows will gather, and then they'll bring them back. So he played like ultimate music to put them to sleep, and then he'll have fun. He will, like, horse around, like the girls will be going and having a shower in the valley, like the waterfalls. He'll steal their clothes so they cannot get out. But when the thing is, he had foster parents, and Avatar Krishna was raised by foster home. That is because he's a king and he doesn't understand he was the king. As a baby, to save him, his mom and dad gives him to the foster home. So when he turns 13 is when his real mom catches up with him, and because he kills the demon that was running the empire. And then she's appalled to know he has not even gone to college. Like usually. She says, I cannot believe like you didn't go to school. He's like super happy. But for her, it's important that before he comes back to community to rule, that he goes back to school. So even though he learned everything by land, she insists that he goes and learn. And that's the first time as an incarnation, as an avatar, because he has given up everything and he's true God. He is in a space of the child and he regrets leaving that space. Even so like I almost felt like even God himself regrets leaving that fun zone. But it influenced him so much. He comes back, he gains the kingdom, and then he fights the biggest war. And then he chooses to camp out and he gives his kingdom to be ruled by somebody else. And he goes and he sets up a campsite. And all the people around him set it up with him. So he lives in a mobile home. It's almost like he lives in, like, what is it called? That mobile park?
Trailer park?
Trailer park, yeah. That ends up being, so
That's awesome.
essentially the first 13 years influences him so much.
Mm-hmm.
In spite of gaining the kingdom, he chooses
To
live in the camp, like trailer park. Huh?
Closer to everything.
I think it was very important for him, like how Diana said, I want to be the princess of the hearts, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was very important for him to be among his friends.
Mm-hmm.
That was more rich for him than the kingdom itself. The cloud, the chair, and other stuff.
Yes.
So because of that, like that piece for some reason stood out with me because I love forest.
Mm-hmm.
And understanding the forest signified so many things. So that became my theme. So when I put it together, I said,
so
why don't I?
Yes.
Yes. So I feel, yes, I can be a doctor. Yes, I can be a healer, but my soul belongs to forest.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel, why live away from forest? Let me recreate. Yeah. So I feel I don't need to go to the forest. Let the forest come to me. So that's what I wanted to say. And in India, they call it, like, heaven in India is like, what you project in your mind as you've completed. And the ultimate heaven is in the lights. That's why they say walk towards the light. Mm-hmm. So one day, a special experience happened for me. I was in the park in Sherroy campsite in Richmond, New Hampshire. Have you heard about them? Sherroy campsite. No. SHIR-ROY, because it's Shirley and Roy. Together they decided the campsite. So I was kayaking. The sun falls on the water because it's always, campsite is around like a big pond, right? Yeah. Like big lake or something, or a body of water. Mm-hmm. So the reason is they call it Jyotir Kailash. Kailash means heaven, light filled heaven. This is what they say. Okay, that's the ultimate heaven. So I'm like, kayaking, and I'm hearing like, nice bird chips, and I just get lost in the woods. It's amazing. So the light, maybe around like 11 o'clock or something. So it's like the sunlight is like up in the sky, and it's in a slanting way, falls on the body of water, right? The wind blows and it carries the light, and the light keeps going up and up and up all the way to the tree. Have you ever seen that? The reflection of light that keeps going up and up and up.
Exactly. No, I can't say I've had that experience. But I've always said, I'm not a big believer in organized religion.
It's not about religion.
It's something different to me. And so people said, do you ever go to church? And I'm like, well, yeah, I was brought up to go to church. But if I really want to go to church, I'm going to go take a walk in the woods.
Yes. See, if you go into the swimming pool, right? Even if you haven't seen the experience, you will see the ripple and the light rippling.
Sure, yeah.
But when the angle of the sun and the wind carries it in such a way, the ripple goes up on the tree. And this dance lasted for like an hour.
Really?
And I got really, like, like that space is where my heaven was. Mm-hmm. I was like so lost. My husband got scared. He sent out my kids and he says, go find mom.
Yeah, go find her.
So my son was saying, Mom, are you stuck? Because they thought like I was stuck because my kayak was parked there and I could see the dance moving up and up and up. And I told my son, I found my heaven. Because seriously, that was my heaven. And that's when I fell in love with forest. It's like almost, have you heard about that poem, Let the Forest Find You? Like you're not lost, let the forest find you. And I felt the forest found me. And when you have that experience, you know what it is. You don't even need words. I've said, I want to create that experience around me all the time. And so this project will be 3-year project, I knew, but I felt it's worth the wait. So because the first year, the plants go through sleep cycle. Because you're transplanting them, to go into a shock. So they are sleeping.
Right.
So then,
Yes,
then they get a little courage and they grow roots. So it's creep cycle. The second year, so it is a year. 1 year they have to wait. So the second year is creep cycle, and then the third year is leap cycle. So next year is when, because they are a little comfortable, they're saying, okay, she's not going to hurt us. She's there for us to do what we need to do. So they actually get a little bit more confident. And I don't know how many years God is doing his gardening, but I'm learning. But I'm learning through him to do little forests. Like I want to have my own forest. How they call it, MahaVan, ultimate forest. This is my ultimate forest that I can easily, do it to have that heaven, a piece of heaven right next to it.